Got the full thing on. Okay, I think we're good to go here. I'm in voice or kind of voice, some kind of voice. Anyway, 9:16, a few minutes before the market starts, 15 or so before things get going. A few things to cover. Not a huge news day, but a few things worth talking about. We'll get to in a minute. Want to talk to just thinking tariff things, from the other day. Even though I kind of took a quiet day just to try to get a little bit better. Let's not talk specifically about tariffs. Let's talk about macro things that affect the market. You have to be ready for stuff these days because things happen. Things are said during the trading day and they impact your day. So that has to go into your formula. Okay. Trying to plan out what you're doing, include that because that's going to affect the individual stocks that you trade as well. So have that in mind. So again, have that in your plan and adjust accordingly to that when there's potential for something like that to come out. All right, getting into the stocks that are in the news this morning. Novo Nordisk didn't get results that they wanted, have some poor results with the trial. They're down, Lilly's up. I'm not trading Lilly this morning, but we take a fast look at Lilly before we take a look at NVO. Okay, I'm just not in the mood to trade $1,000 stock that's going to monopolize my time. So skipping it, NVO down, trading around $40. I'm thinking $35.92 for it. I'm not sure what the old low is, right around 43. So it's below that, below the 52-week low. I'm thinking $35.92 and then down 60 cents each piece thereafter. So we'll see what goes on there. The only earnings situation this morning is Domino's, DPZ. We wait on, and they had good results. And the stock is actually up since I priced it out this morning. It was trading right around 400. Now it's up to 407. Okay, I have Domino's 373 to purchase it and at 428.07 to short it. Okay, remember, it's always, number first. When you're purchasing something, it's always the price first, and then you're at something if you're looking to short it or sell it. I haven't traded Domino's in a while, but I know it can move. So, again, tune in, see what's going on there. FBIN, which I don't think I've ever traded. We added to, if it's Fortune Brands, somebody added to their stake. They're trying to get the CFO out, I think. Anyway, the stock is up on that news, trading around 57. I have it 53.55 to buy it, at 60.61 to short it. Not much more to add there. VF Corp, JP Morgan cut their price target on it, so right around $20 this morning. I have it 18.31 to buy it at 23.22. RS plays this morning. Not sure how many, but we'll go through them. I'll write them down as we go here. Got Apple as a long. Okay, and we see that it went out near the highs, but it's down about $2 this morning. I have it 258.58 to buy it, so that would be down here. At least it's still on the chart there. All right, that's good to 11 this morning. That's my initial purchase there. Okay, I'm actually at 271 and change to short it, and that's good all day. NVIDIA, another relative strength purchase. Remember, earnings coming this week. That's definitely going to impact the market. Where it goes as of now, I have no idea, really. But anyway, it's looking around 191. I have it 184.40 to purchase it. I'm at 200, 200 and 67 cents to short it. That part's good all day. Oracle, also a relative strength buy. Doesn't seem like I missed much on Friday. Anyway, Oracle's looking down $2.50. Oracle's relative strength short, rather. I see things the wrong way sometimes. What can I say? Tends to work out. Maybe I should have bought it. Uh, anyway, Oracle's looking down. I have it at 154.77 to short it. I'm 132.66 for it as initial purchase. Again, that's good all day. And that's Sarepta have as a buy. SRPT went out strong. Haven't been trading it much, but you can see nice little move from 3 o'clock on. Little bit off of where it went out. I know that thing can move some, so I'm careful with it. I'm 16.89 to purchase it, and I'm not looking to short it. Hopefully, I have other things going on. Mondays, just in general, are challenging because we want to start the week out on the plus side, and often there's not enough going on. There, one more end phase. Sorry, end phase is long. Excuse me. After going out well, trading right around 46, so down a little bit. I am 42.63 for it, so I'm expecting a move again in end phase. So again, we'll see what happens there. Yeah. So back to Mondays. Everyone's tired. It's snowing. Snowing a little bit up here. I hear it's snowing a lot more. In Jersey and in New York and probably along the coast of Connecticut and Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Okay, a lot of snow there. Here we got about 6 inches of snow, and it's just blowing now. Mainly, it looks like it's still snowing, but the wind's blowing. Anyway, back into stocks we're following today. Not a tremendous assortment of my usual stuff, but enough that should be interesting. It seems like all the techs, with the exception of Nvidia, are down this morning. Okay, AMD looking 198. I have it 185.41 to buy it, at 210.03 to short it. CEG, Constellation Energy. Just go through the list now. We got about 7 minutes till market opens. CEG. Range yesterday, Friday only $7. Looking around 292.50. I have a 275.72 at 310.06. Charter. Range there only about 750 or so as well. So not a hell of a lot of movement on Friday. I don't feel bad about missing out on Friday. Needed a break. I think more mental break than anything else. Charter went out 230. Nothing traded this morning. I think the 221.01 as initial purchase there, at 240.78 to short it. CoreWeave. Okay, down a bit. Looking around 87.50. I have it 76.34 to buy it, at 97.66 to short it. Carvana, we know Carvana can be a heck of a mover, even though it only had $27 worth of range on Friday. Looking off a little bit, looking 334 and a half or so. I have a 302.38 to buy it, at 375.21 to short it. First Solar, after almost $19 worth of range on Friday, looking basically flat, well off a buck, let's say. I have a 220.85 to buy it, at 262.27 to short it. IonQ, then we'll do the other two quantum stocks. IonQ looking 31.15 this morning. I have a 27.86 to buy it, at 35.97 to short it. QBTS, D-Wave. See if we get some moves in these guys today. One way or the other, I'd be happy with something. Looking down a bit, right around 1760. I have it 15.28 to buy it, at 20.71. Rigetti, after only about less than a buck. No, right around a buck's worth range there, and I hit the wrong thing, I guess. Rigetti. Okay, looking down about 50 cents or so. I have it 13.20 to buy it, at 18.43 to short it. So again, expecting bigger moves there. Have to plan on bigger moves there, just in general. Okay, MongoDB, MDB. See, Bitcoin's right around 66,000. So I guess it hasn't gotten over the hump of 70,000. So that's kind of interesting, but I still, I don't, don't follow it more than just mentioning in passing, but aware. Just want to see if money's going there. Seems like, I mean, gold's up. Seems like some money's going there. A little bit of safety. I don't know. Anyway, MTB looking down $5. I have it 315.04 to buy it at 369.14 to short it. Micron, as we're a little less than 4 minutes before the market opens. A little bit of water as we're waiting on Micron. And it did go up pretty well, just missing out on being a relative strength buy, but it's off $5 and change this morning from where it went out. I have Micron 396.48 to buy it at 450.31 to short it. So again, looking for some bigger moves there. Palantir. And waiting on range wasn't great. Range was a little over $5, right around $5, let's say. And here we see Palantir. And looking lower, looking around 132. I have Palantir 122.83 to buy it at 144.12 to short it. Pure Storage did not have a great move range day either, only $2.40. That's definitely atypical there. And see, it's off about 50 cents this morning. I have it 67.23 to buy it at 78.62 to short it, as we're within 2 minutes here of opening. I mentioned Sunrun. Okay, and Sunrun with okay range yesterday, about $1.40. Looking around 20 right now, so it's come off a few cents since I priced things out a while ago. I have an 18.15 to buy it at 22.41 to short it. Again, I like the movement here. Some of these stocks in the teens that move, you get a good bang for your buck there. Solar Edge. Which had, it's been a couple of days since the earnings came out here, and the stock has had pretty good ranges. Had almost $5 worth of range on Friday. Excuse me, looking down about 70 cents. I have it 32.84 to buy it at 44.07 to short it. Stock you got to be careful with, especially on the short side. Yeah, well, how about a period you got to be careful with, because it can move more than you think it does. As we're getting ready to get the day started here on just a really nasty day. I get that the weather's worse in other places, but pretty nasty here. I'm ready for springtime. I know we're like a week away from March, so that's a good thing, I suppose, right? Should be happy with that. And I'm going to say congrats to the U.S. Olympic hockey team. And that was a fun game to watch. I thought Canada was going to win in overtime, but glad the U.S. won, obviously. It just seemed like the Olympics went by really, really fast. They started, now they're gone. Anyway, the market's open now, so let's go straight to my handy watch list on my phone here. I'm just going off of this and basing off of this. And right away, I see Domino's. Catching my attention. All right, so moving up here, and as far as me shorting it up, I'm up around 425. So we'll see, where it can go. I mean, it's a long way off its 52-week high. Almost 100 points away from that, but it's moving. So that's interesting. I would expect NVO to be the leader on the other side. Yeah, NVO trading right around $40. And again, I'm 35s there to get started. I think high 35s. So nothing big up. Here we go. Something worth mentioning right away. MDB catching my eye. Okay, but bouncing pretty quick now. Back up to traded 328, back up to 330. Okay, at MDB, I said 315.04. Okay, and I just put in 315.04 just to have something in there, and I want to look up another couple of prices because it moves. I mean, should be enough said. You guys know me talking about MDB, how much it moves. So I'm going to go, excuse me, 311.20, which I'm not putting in, and then 307.45. Okay, as it just made a new low, hit 327. All right, so one order in MDB to buy it, 315.04. We'll see how that plays out. Okay, run. Going to run. Another guy which right away gets my attention. Big down candle to start the day. And run. Yeah, I'm going to be pretty far away and run, though. Still. Okay, I've run 18.15. I'm just making a note here that my first purchase and run, I'm thinking 18.15. As it comes back off that, makes me want to look at Solar Edge as well. Not the same kind of thing. How about First Solar? Then end phase. All right, First Solar, not a huge candle. A little bit of a move. End phase. Waiting on here. All right, a little bit of a down there. And again, end phase on 42.63 for it as a relative strength purchase this morning. Not putting anything in yet. We're still $3 away. So those are the guys that caught my attention. And the only thing I put in was MDB. Let's go back to that real fast for a sec. And we see it pop right back up. So MDB, interesting candle to start the day. We'll revisit it when we go back into our list here, but let's go through our news situations here, starting with Novo Nordisk. Okay, and we see it's down, went just below 40, now $40.50. Again, I have it 35.92, not really looking to short it. Give it some time, see how it plays out. Again, I'm always scripted here. I have stuff in here. Everything's planned. Everything's good to go here. Try to be smart about it. And look at this candle here in Domino's to start the day. Shot up almost to 414. Same candle now below 404. So really interesting. All right. I mean, again, I'm away. I'm 373.82 for it at 428.07 to short it. So I said 425, actually 428. But interesting way to start the day. Not the kind of candle you see very often here. In the first 5 minutes of a day. Let's move on to the second one because we're 5 minutes in. Market in general here, S&P is basically flat. NASDAQ off 0.3, Dow flat, Bitcoin trading 66,000, allegedly off 1,500, but I don't know when their day starts. To tell you the truth, FBIN Fortune Brands. Okay, so up a good amount. I don't know how this thing's going to trade really. So for what it's worth, I have 53.55 to buy it. I'm at 60.61 to short it. I guess I priced it kind of wide. I mean, it had $2.75 worth of range on Friday. Again, I don't think I've ever traded it, but decide to at least price it and see what happens here. All right, VF Corp. First look here. Not much movement here, and again, I'm 18.31 for it at 23.22. All right, relative strength plays here. Apple. Okay, so came back up. Was looking 262 something this morning, and here it is Trade almost at 267 on the first candle. Looks like it kind of wants to go. I mean, my first short is 271.82. I better at least have a note here for it. I'm not going to put anything in, but looks like it wants to go. I mean, I thought I was a little bit nervous, being 258 and change to buy it this morning on relative strength, but looking pretty strong. End phase, which we just visited, going back to because it is in a relative strength piece. And I did make a note. Okay, so yeah, it's a good $3 away from me there. Nvidia. Okay, like I said, big week in Nvidia. I wonder if they're going to kind of move it up. If they move it up, there's so much to consider when the earnings come out. Is it in it? What's going forward? What are they seeing going forward? It's going to be a lot of what they say and what's in it. And then how do they quantify it? And in turn, how do we quantify it? How do we make it a doable trade? So a lot can happen. A lot will happen before the earnings come out and right after the earnings come out. Pretty nebulous situation there. Sarepta, the other long there. Okay, so that tail there is kind of interesting, and here it is pushing up. It didn't impact me at all because I'm way the heck away there. I think I just said 1689. Yeah, 1689. Yeah, so way far away. So may have gotten interesting for a glimmer. Only short Oracle. Okay, and kind of pulled in a bit, and maybe pulling in more. I don't know, but where am I thinking long here? I'm thinking 132.66 to buy it. So I'm again pretty darn far away there. Excuse me. It's a lot of this bit of nasty post-nasal drip and cough and stuff. Voice should be holding up okay. Fingers crossed. Be with you guys till 10:30. My relative strength plays are good till 11. And then watch for trades on Telegraph for me. Telegram. You know what I mean. Telegram. But watch for trades there nevertheless all day, especially if I think they're very worthwhile, or it's comments sometimes too. Okay, so AMD, yeah, so off, kind of quiet, has been down as low as 194, but now back into where it was looking to open. So maybe it runs back. Maybe 200 is a number that this morning. If we can push through there, maybe we get a little bit of a move. Could be a trade. Not looking to make it a trade yet after the not even two candles yet. Not even 10 minutes into the day. All right, here's CEG. I've seen CEG as wanted to hang out around 300 other times, and here it is having opened lower and traded in the first candle around 293. Here it is approaching 300. So it might be a good CEG day. Maybe it makes more of a move than it did on Friday. All right. So that kind of has me interested. I'm going to make a note in CEG. And write down, I do have it as a short at 310.06. I'm not going to put anything in, but that would be where I look to short it. But the first move there gets my attention. I like seeing quick moves, big candles, because you get some big candles and then normally you get a quick retrace, get you long or short on the big candles and you get that. When you don't get that, you got to temper your move. You're not going to see as much. If you get some consolidation right around the level that you positioned in, that makes it tougher because then you're probably going to see some kind of continuation versus reversal. All right. So just have that in mind, and we do see reversals, but more apt to sooner than later, at least some kind of retrace there than some drawn out thing. It becomes less likely. Okay, charter. Waiting on here. And okay, fairly good move here. Start out okay, and then that definitely gets my attention there. I'm going to make a note in charter as well because I have it 221.01 to purchase it. Not putting anything in, but I would have it handy because here we are making new lows. You know what? I will put in. I put 221.01 in charter. And I want to look up my extra next spots here. Planning ahead. And be smart about it. I'm going to go 219.92. Not going to put it in. And 218.57. Okay, so just one bid in charter, 221.01, just to have something there. Core weave. Okay, pushing up as well. Nice little move there in core weave. And I better put in, okay, just put in my short in core weave. 97.66. All right. And then to look up some other spots. Just tabbing across here. I'm going to go 98.89 and 98.89. And then a little bit higher I should go. And 137. So 97.66 is in to short at the 98.89. Then 137. Those two are not in. But core weave have one short order in. There, let's go Carvana. Okay, consolidating almost 9 points worth of range, but most of that on the first candle. We're into the third one. But it will. I got to figure it'll get going. For solar. Okay, pushing up a little, not great range yet. Pretty far away there. IonQ. Okay, it's still basically down, but near the high of the day. On just about 60 cents worth of range there. Right after that, we can go to QBTS. Okay, also nudging up. Same sort of thing, around 50, 60 cents worth of range near the highs. Rigetti. As well as it approaches 16. Again, on 60 cents or so worth of range. Keep eyes on, obviously. There, I did not price out IBM or Intel, so I just want to take a peek there at those guys. As we're 15 minutes in. Markets in general, S&P is off 0.25%. NASDAQ off 0.7%. Dow off 0.25%. Bitcoin 65,900. Just saw it worse, so that's kind of interesting. IBM down near lows of the day, but not a lot of range. Didn't price it out. Not any rush to yet. Intel. Yeah, not a big move there yet either, so not too big a deal. Back to MGB, where I'm bidding 315.04. First check since then. We're waiting on it here. And we see it has made a new low, so I'm happy to have the 315 in there just in case, while we flip through. Okay range for the first 15 minutes, almost $14. So it's definitely moving today. See where it's at next time around. Micron. Okay, so moving like Micron, I mean, $12 or so worth of range already after only 15 and a half points worth of range on Friday, which was, not the norm there. So right around 423.50. Again, I'm pretty far away, both parts there. Do we check? Yeah, we check those guys. Okay, let's go Palantir. Sitting here watching the wind blow outside. Pretty nasty out. Okay, Palantir pulled down, was down 127 and change, backed up to 128. Kind of has, those first candles kind of get my attention. I just want to make a note for Palantir. A couple of decent sized candles to start the day. Again, I'm 122.83 to buy it, not putting it in yet. Pure Storage. Where we know we can see some big candles. And here we have big candles going down. Pure Storage, I'm 67.23 for it. So not down enough to get me to put an order in yet, but a couple of good ones, couple of good more candles, and I'll be wanting to do something there. Sunrun saw the initial down candle. Here it is edging back. So I'm farther away, but see if it gets going down again. Solar Edge. Okay, pushing up a bit. I'm pretty far away there. Sarepta. Okay, so started out, kind of down, ran up to flat, hanging out around there. Did trade over 19. Nothing more to mention there. Should go Rivian and Tesla, even though I didn't price those out this morning. Just wanted to take a look, at least. So looking Rivian here. Okay, so not exactly a mover this morning. Okay, a little over 30 cents worth of range. Tesla. Sliding. Tesla kind of wanted to hang around 400 last week. Seems like it wants to approach there. It just didn't move enough for me on Friday. You can see there, we got like, 405s there and like 10, less than $10 worth of range on the day, which is pretty horrible for Tesla. Actually really horrible, I should say, for Tesla. So that's why we're not in that game today. You can look at Rocket and then look at the VAX stocks too, because I do follow them, but didn't price them out today. Rocket coming off some, but slowly. Let's go Biontix. Again, a little bit of a move there. All right, so that gets my attention a little. I'm not even going to write it down yet, but maybe I do something. And if I do something where I hadn't pre-planned it, if I do price it out once the market starts, I'm going to do quarter normal entry size here. All right, so Moderna, that definitely gets my attention. Going to have to keep track of that there. Okay, a couple of big candles followed by some smaller ones, but continuing up. Okay, wow. Novavax, same sort of deal. Not quite the same movement though, 40 cents worth of range. So I'm not going to write that one down, but Moderna definitely caught my attention though. All right, as I say it twice, just to emphasize that it definitely did. You know, could have followed some of the airlines with cancellations because of snows and winds, but I really didn't see enough of a move there. Okay, back to my list here. What am I seeing? Nothing that's going to super jump out, so I'm going to go back and we're going to go through all our names again. Okay, so again, we're about 20 minutes in, and even though I have a couple of orders on, nothing super exciting going on In general, maybe Bitcoin gets your attention being back to 66,000. I don't know. As we watch Novavax go a little bit higher, the range a little bit more. But back to our list, and we'll hit up the VAC stocks again in a few minutes next time around. Because again, this is what we do. We go through stuff, we check, we see what we see. And again, when we get to another chart here, okay, Novo is going to be Novo Nordisk is going to be tougher to see things because it's gapped down so much. But again, what do I like here? I want to see a candlestick chart that's a clean chart, in 5-minute intervals. That's what I go off of. All right. Does that mean you have to do the same thing that Jim does? No. All right. If you like a lot of indicators and that works for you, please do that. All right. Okay. Tailor it to yourself. I mean, over the years, I've always tried to pick up things from people, learn things from my own moves, be they good or bad, that kind of stuff, and incorporate them into what I have moving forward. All right. So, mind you, take the best of, what you consider the best of what you see, some other people doing, and learn from your errors to the point where you're not making the same silly mistakes again. All right. So Novo not moving. I thought maybe we got some movement. I'm way the heck away. I'm 35.92 to buy it, and I don't know. Even though it's off a lot, maybe we should take a look at Lilly because I didn't want it to monopolize my time here. And yeah, I mean that's not a huge move there. 20 so points worth of range for $1,000 stock is not super huge. Let's grab a little water. So I feel like I'm missing out there. I can't remember the last time I traded Lilly. It's been a while, obviously. Okay, back to Domino's, the only earnings situation. And it did, hey, on that third candle, it did trade under 400. Now it's back above, so that was just a quick blip. So it seems like, it was 400 pre-market when I priced it out. Maybe it wants to hang around there. Acted like it was going to go higher. I'm far away. But, obviously we'll continue to keep track of what's going on here. FBIN, Fortune Brands. See if something changed here since last we visited. Yeah, it's starting to fill in a bit. Okay. I am below the fill here. I'm 53.55 for it. But it is filling slowly. I know it's, we got a full day's worth, just about a full day's worth of trading because I basically, stop as far as like new orders going in around 3:30 or so, as in probably can't see that kind of a move out, much of a move afterward. But who knows? VFC have been quite okay. Here it is under 20. What did I say here? I said 1831 to buy it. Definitely a good ways to go there before really gets my attention. Apple did though. Apple definitely did. Moving up, but here it is. We almost got to 267. Back to flat on the day after being down on the first candle. It was in the 262s this morning pre-market, but I am 258.58 to buy it up until 11 or so. Other relative strength longs, Nvidia, which again I read it. It's a big week for with the earnings coming out later, and big week that will impact the market. So we're 25 minutes in here. Nvidia's up $3 on or 250 or so worth of range. Okay, sounds about like Nvidia. End phase. Okay, so not the most happening morning, but that often is the case on Mondays. I'm not looking to force anything. End phase off a little bit on the day. I'm far away. Was expecting more of a move here, not really seeing it. Sarepta was right around flat last time we visited. We're waiting on it here. Yeah, it's still basically flat. I mean, 50 cents worth of range. Checking the volume here. Taking a peek. All right, yeah, I mean, 100,000 shares is not particularly great. Still following it. Maybe, I don't know. I'm still following. I got rid of that RGC. Maybe just look at RGC in a second. Just curious where it's trading. Okay, Oracle is the only relative strength short I had this morning. And still, still kind of going down. A little bit of a consolidation here in the last three candles. Back below 142. Where did I say I'd buy it? I'm 132.66 for it. So that's a good ways away, but hey, it can get there. I mean, we're not even a half hour into our day yet. So keep tuning in with me, even after I'm done to see if wind up doing something in Oracle. I said we look at RGC, which I got rid of. I stopped following. $28. Yeah, all right. So we took a peek. We saw what it was doing. Enough of that, I suppose. Okay, back to our list, which again, hey, this is what we do. We check. We're here. We're traders. We got to be up on what's going on. All right. So focused. So not always the most glorious part of things. All right. Just like prepping, doing your homework, that stuff. Totally necessary. There's no glory in that, So, when you do, make an absurd amount of money in something, it's because of everything that was behind it. All right. AMD looked like it, remember we were talking about it, pushing here. Maybe there's a trade through 200. Nope, not yet. All right. Coming back off. So couldn't get there. I didn't say I was going to take this trade, right? Pushing through here, but it didn't. So kind of a moot point, at least for now. CEG. Okay, so it got my attention at the start on the first two candles. Since then, quieted down, maybe resting a little bit. I said, I didn't put my short in yet, but my first short is at 310.06. Let's look at our old friend GE Vernova, which I stopped following because in the 800s, it's just, I don't know, a bit much. Again, we talked about Lilly monopolizing your time, and this GEV could monopolize your time too. So then the memory stocks, let's go back and visit those. So I got rid of those for now. I'll put it for now in there for these guys because maybe I want them back or some of them back. I don't know. SanDisk. Okay, pushing up. Is that a new high? Nope. Okay, but creeping back towards 700 in SanDisk. Seagate. Waiting on Seagate here. Okay, 413. I want to see where we stand there. Okay, above fours though. Okay. And Western Digital. So we are a half hour in now. Okay, moving a good amount, but not as much as the other guys. Maybe I'll reincorporate these guys. We'll see. I don't know. Give me. I'm gonna wait till like Wednesday. All right, and figure out. Maybe I want to bring them back. I don't know. But let's get back to our stock list here. Going to Charter. Oh boy. Sorry for the yawn, guys. Need to be a little more caffeinated this morning, I think. All right, so Charter got my attention with that first move down there, that first big candle. Since then, we've been consolidating between 225 and 227. 225s, 227s there. 225s, 226s, I should say, because it didn't touch 227 again. So see what happens. I did put in 220.101 bid, but not much since then. CoreWeave is another one that caught my attention, and I did put a short in at 97.66. All right. consolidating, but hasn't fallen off. So is it going higher? Should it be a long trade here? I was going to push up to like 96. Maybe that'd be funny if I sold my stock long at like 96, then shorted it, shortly thereafter at 97 and change. Carvana. See if it got going. Nope, not yet. Got to figure it will. I mean, it can be such a mover just because it spends a half hour just doing a figure out what we're doing kind of thing. Doesn't mean it's not going. Markets in general, S&P down 0.4%, NASDAQ down 0.6%, Dow down 0.8%, Bitcoin almost 66,000, just a tad below there. For what it's worth, and a strategy. Just curious, not trading it, just curious. We're at here, a little below 130, and just getting a look at eyeballing, what the range is there, a lot closer to the 52-week low, which is 104 and change, versus the high, which is 457. Is it screaming buy here? Again, I don't know. And the things I don't know, I don't get involved in. But curious about it. All right, we saw IonQ running back, kind of failed, didn't quite get to flat, kind of failed on it. QBTS. Okay, did kind of got to the upside, but yeah, we'll call it flat. Rigetti. Okay, did in fact push up. Okay, out of all of them, Rigetti did. Again, I'm still a long ways away in Rigetti. Not looking to do anything right here. Going back to MDB, we do have an order in. Just off of the initial candle there. And we're still sinking here. Okay. So I got the 315 in. Hang on. All right. I just put in the 311.20. And remember what my thinking is. Here we're getting down. If in fact we get close and I don't get it and it bounces a bit, I got to cancel that, okay? Because my thought being is next time it gets there, it's going through. All right. So if I don't have to nurse a crappy position, I don't do it. All right. All right. So it's there. It's good. It's good for one stab at it. If I don't get it, I don't get it. All right. Because otherwise, on that bounce, I would be getting out. All right. I'd be having some sort of profitable trade there. All right. But glad to have it in. Micron. I think we saw some decent. Yeah, we saw some okay range there. And here we are. It's run up above 430 since we were here. Or maybe it was right up around there then last time we were here. But here it is back in around 422.50, right around 422 now. Okay, so big candles both ways here. Micron being Micron. Palantir. Okay, so hanging out around 130. Okay, I'm pretty far away there. Pure Storage, let's see, did we get some candles to make me interested? No, but hanging out near the bottom of the range. Pure Storage, I'm 67.23 for it. And even though it's right around 70, it can get there pretty fast. We just haven't quite seen it yet. Sunrun. Okay, so coming back, that first candle got me interested, but here it is, more than 60 cents off the lows. So that interest is fading really fast. Solar Edge. Okay, pushing higher. I'm still pretty far away there. Let's go to these Vax guys because they, at least Moderna got my attention. See if Biontix does as well here. Okay, yeah, and it looks primed to break higher here. I'm gonna write that one down too. Again, I didn't price these guys out. I'm gonna write Novavax down too because it did look like it was going. Okay, so the range isn't great, but the move is okay. Moderna. Okay, so continuing here, continuing higher, I'm gonna have to start thinking about doing something here. All right. I mean, again, I do smaller size, but offhand here, I'm thinking right around a little north of 57. Just making a note there. All right. If I don't have time to price something out, I mean, after I'm done with you guys, I'll definitely price something out. So if you see me do something on there, I'll explain it that, whether it's priced out or if I'm just going off of what I've seen before in it. But I'll definitely do it. I have about another 20 minutes or so left with you guys. Okay. And here is, even though it's only a 50-cent move here, Novavax, nothing but green here. Where would I short Novavax? Nowhere around here. Okay, I'd have to really let itself get extended. I'd be thinking like 1150 or something like that. All right, I'm not looking to buy it here either because there's no consolidation. Maybe if it came in here, but that's not a big move either. I mean, yeah, no, just not enough there for me to do anything. Okay, I'm just checking the list here. The one up the most on my list is Moderna, which we just covered. Flip side there down, Novo Nordisk, which again is right around 40, so hasn't moved much there. And again, I just want to take a moment here and go over, philosophy, my own philosophies here. Okay, starting with risk management and incorporating into it time. Time is kind of key here because the more time you're in a trade, the more exposure you have. So if things work out well, hey, better. If things aren't working out for you within 15 minutes, keep eyes on it, especially, if we're looking for some kind of reversal, maybe we're not going to get it. And a lot of times, there are times I don't care because, again, remember, another key thing for me is segmenting in. Okay, so I'm not doing full boat right away on the first part of a trade. I'll leg in 3 times, sometimes even 4 times. All right, depending on the plan, but that's the normal plan, 3 or 4 times into it. Okay, and then maybe you got to start to take something back. But that's my planning because I'm not going to overcommit. That helps me as far as stuff goes, and I'm able to get a really good batting average out of that. All right, so and I don't want to specify, but it's a very good batting average. Okay, based on that. But it's always a learning process. We're always like seeing stuff. This is why we're watching charts in general. We're always seeing stuff that sticks out that we haven't seen before, maybe stuff that we haven't seen before that goes under tendencies. So we use that. All right. And I also want to emphasize following, having stocks that you follow that you get to know well. All right. Myself, I just got rid of some. Remember, I said I got rid of some of those memory stocks. I got rid of GEV. All right. I'm typically following, in my case, around 20, 25 or so stocks, plus whatever stocks are in the news that day. Okay. But if you're just getting into following stocks, maybe follow 5 to 10 and get to know them very well. All right. And again, I'm also a big believer in, doing your homework, have everything planned out. Okay. I have it planned out every single day. I have my stuff scripted and I'm ready to go. All right. And off of that, I have my two nice little John Wooden quotes, which are failing to prepare is preparing to fail. How true is that? And then, sometimes I talk about being lucky, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got a better price there or whatever. You know, my other good John Wooden quote is luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Again, preparation meets opportunity. Okay, so it ain't just luck. Anyway, preaching a bit, but good habits, stick with the ones that work. Have your plan. Plan's a bit off tweak. My plan gets tweaked all the time as far as the way I price things out. Stuff's moving more, price it out a little bit more, a little bit wider as far as things go. Price moving less, all right, coming a bit, but not a ridiculous amount. So if it does get going again, you get run over. So always be smart about it, always be thinking, let's not make the same mistakes again. System not working, fix your system. All right. All right. It's not stuck there. All right. It evolves. Just like we want to evolve as people, hopefully in a good way. Our trading system should evolve. All right, in a good way. All right, back to our news situation, starting with NVO. And again, it's been quiet. I'm not forcing. I know sometimes I say I'll do a few trades here, smaller size, that kind of thing. But I'm not in a rush this morning, especially after skipping a day. Sometimes I feel like if I skip a day, it takes a little while. It takes a few hours to get back into it. And Mondays can be slow, but we'll see. We got that MDB thing, getting interesting. We'll visit that in a little bit. All right, so NVO here, not doing, just not happening like I thought it would. Domino's, after racing out, it got back under 400. And guess what? Here it is back under 400 again. It has made a new low down in around 395 range. Okay, I'm way the heck down 337.82 to buy it. But it's getting more interesting. We'll see if it continues to sink. What do I always say? It's a long day. All right. I only have 15 minutes or so left with you guys, but it's a long day in general, long trading day in general. And this Fortune Brands gets more interesting too. All right. $55 here. I'm 53.55 for it. I better make a note here. Oops. At least right. I'm not going to put anything in, but I want to make a little note. I never traded this sucker, but okay. Bring some money my way, please. Not doing anything yet today, so let's make some money, guys. VF Corp, VFC. Okay. So more below. I write anything down there? No. Again, so it's a heads up. I'm 18.31 for it. This I'm not going to write down yet because it's still $1.30 away is still pretty far away here. All right, because it's just it's $20 stock essentially, and not even $1.30 away, not even a dollar's worth of range today. After the gap down, after the price target lowered. Okay, so get some interest, but nothing. Relative strength plays, which we still have 45 minutes left in. Long side starting with Apple. Okay, so excuse me, hasn't sunk in, been stuck in a buck or so range for the past $2 range, let's call it, since the first 10 minutes of the day. I'm pretty far away, both sides there. End phase. Waiting on here. Okay, a lot of sideways there. Not a great move. I was looking for a bigger move here, and it made sense. Okay, so if I'm not seeing it, I'm not pissed off because it hasn't happened what I expected to happen, but I would have priced it the same way, looking for that. Okay, Nvidia. All right, sliding like it might do some kind of a fill. Uh, what did I say here in Nvidia? I said I'm 184.40 for it, so I'm way the heck down. But interesting, it's backing off a bit. And again, huge week here with the earnings involved. Sarepta was the other morning long. Okay, Sarepta sinking. All right, it's pulling in, and again, I am for this morning. I'm 1689 for it. It gets my attention a little, not because it's relative strength morning play, but because of all the red candles here since it started with a couple of green. Okay, all this red. We'll see how this works out. But all that definitely catches my attention. Oracle was kind of sliding down. Had it as a morning short, not particularly close there. Okay, so has been just below 141. Has bounced 60 or so cents, but not a lot of range, and certainly not anywhere near where I was looking to short it. Almost 155, so way far away there. But let's go back through our stocks here, stock list from today. Let's start with AMD. Okay, which hasn't done much since it bounced off of like 194 there. And remember, I was thinking it might do a through 200 breakout. Not much since then. CEG, I still hanging. Hasn't quite gotten to 300. Still hanging up there though, so leads me to believe that it could. Is it something I want to take as a trade here to push through 300, maybe get to 304? I'm going to hold off on that. Well, let's take a look at GEV first. Something similar, but I'm still going to hold off on CEG. Had me thinking about it there. Charter, I did put in 221.01 bid. We're getting closer here. Still hanging out around there. Core weave. Okay, now hang on here. I do want to flip to MDB. Okay, we see MDB getting there. Remember, I'm 315.04. I have that in there, but keeping an eye on it. I'm still hanging there. Just made a new low, but getting closer. All right. If it moves up here, let's say 318 or so, I'm probably going to have to cancel the 315 because then it's like been there, basically been there because that's because it moves that much. All right. Anyway, back to Carvana. Okay, so has started to move more like Carvana. 323 now, right around 323, the new low. Just did that. I'm 302.38 for it, so I'm a good ways away there. Want to mention here, market's sliding off a bit here as the S&Ps are off almost 0.7%. NASDAQ off 0.6%. Dow's off 1.2%. Bitcoin, though, hasn't slid like with the other indices, as in it's still right around 66,000. Continuing here, though, let's go to First Solar. He's got about 10 minutes left with me here, and it's been quiet. Maybe we'll go back and try to do a little CEG thing. I don't know. We'll see when we get back to there. We'll check it out at least before I split here. All right, First Solar, high end of the range. Nothing really standing out. The quantum stocks, Ion Q. Sometimes they stick their heads out about now. Not the case with Ion Q just yet. QBTS. Okay, looks like it might break out. I don't know. Hasn't, not quite on the highs, but close, up a little bit. All of a sudden we could see a move. We could see a move, up through here. All right, so haven't seen it. I'm not looking to jump on it right now. We're getting same sort of thing where it looks like it could, we could see some kind of breakout. I'm not going to rush into it though. Going back to MDB, which was getting close. Waiting on it here. Okay, and still right around there. So I'm still leaving that 315.04 bid in there. Okay, so it's still in there, but eyes on it. Getting closer, basically on the lows here. Just leave it at that. Micron. Kind of feel it in my voice a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so moving down after it looked like it was going to push higher. Spent the last half hour just kind of sliding back down. So it will definitely be interesting to see how the rest of the day plays out in Micron. The range is okay. I thought the range could become really good, but it's kind of stopped. Palantir. Okay, so a lot, after that move and then move back up, a lot of sideways here. A lot of sideways kind of stuff there. Pure Storage. Do we get some candles? Since last we checked in. Nope. Okay, so Pure Storage, another day of being kind of quiet, even though it's got 3 points worth of range. I would still call it quiet. Let's look at Sunrun and then Solar Edge, and then we'll look at those VAX stocks. So Sunrun, after that big down candle, came back up and has been consolidating. Solar Edge. Okay, rolling up. Is it rolling over now, or it's going to break out? I would consider it indeterminate for now, and just not rushing and check it out. Before we do VAX, let's look at Rivian and Tesla. Okay, Rivian, a whole lot of nothing. Don't feel like I'm missing out there. Tesla. Still hasn't quite touched 400, but excuse me, guys. Well, it could not a lot of movement though there. Less than $6 worth of range in Tesla. Awful. Those VAX names, which kind of caught my attention. Biotics. Okay, look at how this guy pulled. Look at that fast move there. Since last we checked it out, it was up here, back down. Okay, these guys flip pretty fast, I gotta say. Moderna. Curious now to see what we're going to see in these. Up, same kind of move. Wow, that was fast. About Novavax. Okay, so kinda, but not quite, and definitely on a lesser scale. right? Most definitely on a lesser scale there, right? But flipperoo, switcheroo, whatever, whatever we call it, the old, what's. Anyway, let's get back to our top of our list here with all our news situations, as we have 3 minutes and change left with me. But again, follow what I'm doing on Telegram. If in fact I'm doing some stuff, happily put some things in there, and maybe some opinions there too. Maybe it's pictures of a couple of charts. Uh, Also, if you want to reach out to me, I'm at jgre910 at gmail.com. That's jgre910 at gmail.com. You can get me there, or you could just type something in on Telegram. Hey Jim, what do you think? Or hey Jim, how's the weather? Or hey Jim, how you doing? Whatever. Be happy to reply. All right, back to our list here. Novo Nordisk, which has been doing a whole lot of nothing, and continues to do a whole lot of nothing, hanging out around 40. Made that new low, did go below 40, but not doing it. Last time we looked at Domino's, it was 397-ish, so definitely curious to see what's going on here. And it's hanging there. Okay, it's hanging out there. Maybe it continues down, Well, let's see how it plays out over the course of the day. I thought it would do more. I've seen it do more on an earnings day. Although this FBIN was getting interesting. Last we saw was around 55. And it came off there. So it's got lower, got a bit under 55. Now it's bounced back around 60 cents or so in the last 10 minutes. And remember what I say there. I'm 53.55 for it. So I made a note. I didn't put it in yet, but at least made the note when it was right around 55. Maybe it goes back down again. VFC was getting a little bit interesting. But it too bounces a little bit. When I say a little bit, I literally mean a little bit, because it's not even 20-cent bounce. So a lot of stuff, with a lot to do here for me to get some trades in. So we'll see. Oh, what did I do here? Oh, missed up. I wanted to check out CEG to see if we want to do a trade here. And it's still consolidating. Looks like consolidating lower. And I'm thinking like through there. I'm looking. I'm not going to do anything yet. If I do, in fact, do something, I'll let you know on Telegram, because we're under a minute here. Let's go back to MDB. Just want to see where I'm at. Should I be keeping it in there? Excuse me. Okay, so here you can see, obviously, I did pick up some stock. Okay, so picked up some 315.04 stock, and it's just below 314. So picked up some. Next is going to be 311.20. So that's in. I under that 307.45. Haven't put that in yet. Before I go, let me get back to that. Back to my list here. What the heck? Get on the wrong sheet. Just going off my spreadsheet. I got on the wrong sheet here. I'm going to go in a second, but I just want to give you under 307. I want to give you two more prices, just to think about. Okay, and they're going to be 303.79. And 300.22. All right, two more things to think about. All right, so my time is up with you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your trading day, and definitely see you tomorrow at 9:15. Okay, take care.